Daniel chapter 6. Darius, the king, decided to appoint 120 princes to govern the entire kingdom, along with 3 presidents, with Daniel as the chief among them. The purpose was to ensure that the princes would report to these presidents, preventing any harm to the king's interests. Daniel excelled among the presidents and princes because he possessed an exceptional spirit, and King Darius contemplated placing him in charge of the entire realm. However, jealousy consumed the other presidents and princes, and they sought to find a reason to accuse Daniel concerning his governance. Yet, they could not uncover any fault or error in his conduct, for he was faithful and blameless. These scheming men concluded that the only way to trap Daniel was to target his devotion to his God. They approached King Darius, addressing him with respect and longevity wishes, and presented a proposal. That a royal decree be enacted, establishing a firm law that, for 30 days, no one should petition any god or man except the king. Violation of this decree would result in being cast into a den of lions. King Darius agreed and signed the irrevocable decree, following the law of the Medes and Persians. Upon learning of the decree, Daniel continued his routine. He opened his windows, facing Jerusalem, kneeled before the Lord 3 times daily, and prayed, giving thanks to God, just as he had always done. The conspirators observed Daniel praying and approached the king. They reminded him of the decree, and the king acknowledged its validity, given the unchanging nature of Mede and Persian laws. They accused Daniel, a man from the captives of Judah, of violating the decree and paying no regard to the king's authority. They emphasized that he persisted in making his petitions to his God. Deeply distressed, the king realized the trap set for Daniel but was determined to save him. He labored until sunset, seeking a way to rescue Daniel from the den of lions. The conspirators returned, explaining to the king that the law of the Medes and Persians could not be altered. Regrettably, the king had no choice but to order Daniel's imprisonment in the den of lions. However, he expressed his faith in Daniel's God, believing that he would deliver him. A stone was placed over the den's mouth, sealed with the king's signet and those of his nobles, securing the purpose of Daniel's confinement. The king returned to his palace, fasting, with no music or entertainment, as he could not sleep that night. He arose early the next morning and hurried to the den of lions. With a mournful voice, the king called out to Daniel, inquiring if the God he continually served had preserved him from the lion's grasp. Daniel responded to the king, wishing him longevity, and proclaimed that his God had sent an angel who had closed the lions' mouths. God had found Daniel innocent, and he had done no harm to the king either. Overjoyed, the king ordered Daniel to be lifted out of the den. Miraculously, Daniel had suffered no injury because of his unwavering faith in God. King Darius then decreed that the men who had falsely accused Daniel, along with their families, should be thrown into the den of lions. Before they even reached the bottom, the lions overpowered them, breaking their bones to pieces. Darius, in his wisdom, composed a letter to all the people, nations, and languages dwelling throughout the earth, wishing them peace and prosperity. He declared that everyone in his kingdom should tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, the living God, eternal, whose kingdom would never be destroyed, and whose dominion would endure forever. This God delivered Daniel from the power of the lions and performed signs and wonders in heaven and on earth. As a result, Daniel prospered during the reign of Darius and continued to do so under the reign of Cyrus the Persian.